If you're trying to figure out whether you're going to go into clockwise or counterclockwise, what you do is wherever you're starting on your side plane, just turn to the front plane and look at the direction that it is, and that's the direction you're going in. So if you're doing a weave, in general, I would say you want to be facing east and west because you want the audience to see the circles. So almost never will you be facing north and south and doing a weave. Now, I say that as a rule, but that's not really true. If you're spinning in the round, there is no northwest, east, south because you don't have a front to your stage in the same sort of way. So that's a very notable exception. But if you're here in let's say we're in overhand on the right, the first thing is, now if we had done Chasing the Sun together from the beginning, I would know that you know about the T stance, but I'm not sure you do. I use this thing that I think of as a T because the back leg is the top of the T, the front leg is the bottom of the T, so it's like an upside down T, and what you do is you pivot back and forth. So like if I'm doing this to this, these low turns and these high turns, is a great pivot. If I'm doing this fountain, I use the same thing. So you don't have to lift your feet and you just pivot and turn like this. And pivot and turn like this. So from that perspective, let's do the weave to pinwheel ones. So if you're in overhand here and you turn to the left to go into the clockwise pinwheel, you pull your left hand behind your head and then your right one comes up into clockwise. And then you can bring your right hand down and cross your left hand over to go back into overhand weave. So you could do this where you open it up, put the right hand here, put the left hand here, and then go into the weave. What I was doing was bringing my right hand down on my front plane and then crossing with the left hand. But there's multiple ways to do it. My effort in doing it the way I did it was to always have the hands crossed while you're in the weave as opposed to being open for that beat before you go into the weave in the cross. The way you're doing it right now, you have a slight, as I observe you, it looks like you have a slight movement forward of your center. So you have like really clean upper body posture, but your weight looks like it's shifted slightly forward. If you pull your weight into your heels more first, and then if you think about your hands, because you have your hands sort of up here like this, which isn't wrong, but if you try and imagine them coming into an ergonomically neutral position where you have a 90-degree angle here and the elbows in line with your body more, so maybe not fully, but more, it might feel like the move is closer to you and you might feel more controlled with it. So that's the first pair, right, where you go from overhand on this side to clockwise. Now let's do the second pair. If we're in clockwise pinwheel, now, how I'm doing this to come into underhand turning to the left is I bring my left hand down like this, and then I'm going to take my right hand, come down and cross underneath to enter into underhand. So I'm like this, I bring the left hand down, take the right under, and cross into the underhand weave as you turn. But if you want to put it on top and that's easier for you, do it that way. To go from once you get down into your underhand 3-beat, if you want to go back into the clockwise pinwheel, when the left hand is on bottom, right, like this, you turn to the right, bring the right one to the front, and then the left one will go back up behind the head. So it's like a staircase. You're here, the right one steps to the front, and the left one steps all the way up with the right one following it, coming into the pinwheel. And then, in theory, you would have this pair between clockwise pinwheel and underhand weave, as well as this pair from clockwise pinwheel to overhand weave. My general recommendation is remember to pull your weight into your heels, and then so it occurs as I'm looking at you, you haven't gotten past the stage where you think you're going to get hit, and in preemptively, to avoid getting hit, you're doing something that actually I think ends up making you get hit more, which is this thing like this, where you push your arms away or you put your weight in front of you. So I'm going to invite you to really like slow the poi down and surrender into the idea that you're about to get hit lots. And that might help you pull it in closer and not get hit, ironically.